basically, I'm just going to run through a quick presentation. It's only about 30 minutes to 45-minute presentations. I'm going to run through about the type of lighting that we have in the markets now, okay? And also why you use certain lightings and applications, how you select the lighting for your application, for workspace, for factory and everything, right? You can stop me and ask me a question anytime that you want, right? Okay, basically, we want to define, how do you define light? Okay, there is technical terms and quantifiable terms that we put into lightings. Okay, now the most common term that you will see in any catalogs, marketing brochures, you will see lumens. Lumens is a definition of how bright is the light source. Okay, any light source itself, there will be lumens. So when you say about how bright is the light source, you always ask about how much is a lumens. That's how we quantify how bright is the light source itself. Right. Next thing you will see lux. Okay. Now what is called lux? Lux is basically the lighting levels. You have a light source, you turn it on, you turn on your lights, and your light reaching to your tables, to objects. Question is how bright is this light illuminating the objects? That's what we call lux. Okay. Unit of measurements is actually in lumen per meter square. Okay. That is all engineering terms. But basically you need to only know two basic terms. Okay. You have to quantify something. You have a light source. You will ask yourself how bright is the light source going to be. It's always our lumens. How much is a lumen package? Okay. The higher the lumen package, that means the brighter the light source is going to be. Right? Second thing, how bright is the area they're going to illuminate? An area on an object. Okay. So you quantify that by lux, or lumen per meter square. Right. Next, you have, there's a list of lights here. Basically, you have incandescent, tungsten. These two groups, we are calling it as filament-based lamp. Okay? This is more than 100 years old lamps. The first style lamps by Edison is incandescent lamp, just a bulb, nothing else. It's just a wire, you burn it, that's it. Then you have another group of lamp. This is discharge lamp. You've seen this around for many years as well. Another group, this whole group itself, these 5 type of lamps is called HID lamps, high intensity discharge lamps. Okay. Lastly, then you have LED lamps as well. Okay, of course, there is also other new type of lightings as well coming out. You might encounter it. I'm not sure whether they have it in the exhibition here, but they call it plasma lighting. Okay, we have plasma lighting and electrolysis lighting. Okay, that is a total different technology. That more on industrial usage. All right. Next, first bulb, incandescent lamps. Been around for many years, older than any one of us here. More than 100 years old type lamp. The first type of lamp is incandescent lamp. It's just basically a piece of wire, you burn it, that's all. That's incandescent lamp. Right. Next, you have halogen lamps. Now, halogen lamps is also a filament-based lamp. It is the same thing like an incandescent bulb, but it's just like miniaturized. You make it smaller. How we make it smaller is that we have an inert gas that we fill into the glass itself. The gas itself is called halogens. That's why it's called halogen bulbs. Now, halogen bulb lifetime is longer and it's brighter than incandescent lamp. But there is, you gain something, you lose something. There's one problem with halogen bulb is that you cannot handle with hand. The reason why you do not handle with hand is that your finger have oil. Okay, you touch the glass and you leave oil print onto the glass, it will create hot spot. And when this happens, the bulb will fail very fast. Okay, so that's one thing. And incandescent lamp and halogen lamps is very sensitive to voltage fluctuations. Your incoming, your main. Okay, your main incoming is 230 V. It fluctuates a lot. The lifetime of the bulbs will also change a lot. Okay, if the voltage drops, say from 230 V drop to 150 or 190, the lifetime will increase a lot. It's more than double up the lifetime. But if you go up 5%, let's say 240, 250, the lifetime will drop more than 50%. So it's very sensitive to your incoming environment, to your source. Now, next one you have fluorescent lamp. You've seen this a lot. Okay, everyone has seen this a lot. The day you're born, it's already there. Okay, probably in the operation theater, the hospital, you have this thing. Now, there's only difference here is fluorescent lamp have been developed and changed a lot. Okay? It changed from sizes. Very simple layman, you will see, just say 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the fluorescent lamp could be as big as a pipe, a water pipe. Okay? It's really huge. Huge water pipe, 2.5-inch water pipe size. But now you start to see fluorescent lamp become more compact, even smaller. Now, one of the very common things that you see is called energy saving bulbs. You see people market a lot energy saving bulb. Technically, we call it compact fluorescent lamp. Okay? But in marketing terms, it's energy saving bulb. Okay? At the end of the day, it is still a fluorescent lamp. Okay? Disregard whatever the shape, whatever the size, it is still a fluorescent lamp. Okay? Okay? You can see the types of lamp with the different sizes. We call it T12, T10, T8, T5. These are actually size dimensions. T5 is actually one of the newest lamps. You'll be surprised, it's actually much more efficient than LEDs. Yeah, that's a fact. So it's a question of how you use a lamp and where you use it. Right? Next, you have high pressure sodium lamp. This is where you commonly see it on the street. Okay? Now, anyone bring about say what street lightings? When they say street lightings, very automatically you think high pressure sodium lamp, the yellow color lamp. Okay? Very layman, the lamp that is yellow color. You see everything in yellow, but these lamps are very efficient lamps. Okay? It have high efficiency. Okay? And very long lifetime as well, up to 32,000 hours. There's a new technology even up to 38,000 hours as well. Okay? But at the same time, you are seeing that marketings and people are pushing straight light applications are changing to LEDs. Okay? There is a lot of debate on that. Is it viable to go LED? What's the benefit? What's the disadvantage of LEDs? Okay. But you can see there is a trend going to LEDs. But changing to LED, it also brings some problems as well. It brings biological problems. Okay. Depending on which country, you put LED lamps on country like say Australia, there's a lot of bugs. Or New Zealand, you tend to find a lot of bugs circling around the whole lighting area, the whole LED lights. Yeah. Now, another one is also a very old type of lamp. We call it low pressure sodium lamp. Okay. This at the moment is actually the most efficient lamp in the market. But it's also one of the least used in the market as well. Okay. This lamp, we used to use it on straight light applications, but high pressure have replaced the low pressure sodium lamp. Okay. One of the key reasons is because of the color renderings and also because of the lifetime. Now, I will explain color rendering on the later slide, but you hardly see this in anywhere except for maybe the last I ever saw it was actually about 4 or 5 years ago. There was this in Sabah. It was in some kampong area in Sabah. You see on the service route, there's still some low pressure sodium lamp. It's very easy to identify it. It's a very long piece of lamp. Okay. Your bulb normally is less than what? 6 inches, 8 inches, the high pressures. But for this low pressure sodium, it's actually very long. It's nearly like feet long. It's a very long piece of lamp. Okay. But you don't find it in application anymore actually. Very, very small percentage, and I can't name anyone anymore actually, in fact. Yeah. Now, another one is mercury vapor lamp. Now, this is one of the first type of HID lamps. Have been around the market for many years. Okay. It's the first type of lamps that actually give us the intense, high intense discharge. Okay. But this lamp is only white color. Okay. You don't have other ambience of choice. Yeah. Next, you have metal halide lamps. Now, metal halide lamps have replaced a lot of applications for mercury bulbs. Remember, mercury bulb is only one single color. Okay, you have low color renderings. Now we replace that with metal halides. By replacing the metal halides, we're actually changing the type of gas. You see, the name is very logical. We call mercury lamp, and this is metal halide lamps. Basically, the name of the bulb are telling you what kind of component used. Mercury lamps basically use mercury as a gas. Very straightforward, nothing else. Okay. Metal halide lamps it uses metal halide instead of mercury. Okay? There is a small amount of mercury, but that is not the key component. Okay? Now, do you realize that all discharge lamp, whether low pressure or high pressure, there is mercury contents in it? Your fluorescent lamp, your energy saving bulb, any fluorescent based technology, any discharge will have mercury. It's just a question how much is the content. Yeah. So mercury are still in metal halide, but in a small quantity. We replace a lot of metal halide compound. There's specific compound to it. Yeah. To give you higher lumen, higher efficiency. Okay, meaning it's brighter. Higher lumen means it's brighter. And I get more color renderings. You will see shopping malls. Shopping malls, there's a lot of metal halide bulbs. You look, very simple, you look at fluorescent lamp, you can stare at the lamp. You don't feel glare to your eye. But you look at metal halide bulbs, it's very glaring. You cannot be staring at metal halide bulb for long. Yeah. You can see a lot in shopping malls. You go to the KLCC, you can see it everywhere. Yeah. Next, you have LED lamps. Now this is, there's a lot of marketing by LED lamps, and there's also misconception by LED lamps as well. Okay. First thing, misconception is that LED lamp does not last forever. And there is no light source that will last forever. Okay. People are claiming 100,000 hours of LED lamp. Ask yourself, have you seen LED light that lasts 100,000 hours? It's impossible. It's not possible to achieve. But you will see a lot of LED light source, probably you use it for 3 months, 6 months, it died. Okay. And LED, there's a huge range. You can buy LED for 10 ringgit, or you can buy LED for 1,000 ringgit. There is a huge difference. Okay, but the first misconception is that LED does not last forever. That is very important. Okay. And LED is not ultimate solution for everything. There is no one lighting solution for everything. Yeah, that is something we'll go through later, how you select the light source. So just remember this term, because I see a lot of marketing problems that LED, every time you ask someone, I want to do energy saving, first thing coming in mind is always about LEDs. But the fact is not. LED are not the solution for everything. Yeah. Now, I have a list of tables here. It's basically just to show a basic comparison of all the light source. Okay. This is not the most updated list. Okay. Things that will change is very much on the lifetime of the bulbs. There are still changes. Industrial are still developing on it. Yeah, but one thing to take note, incandescent lamp importation to Malaysia have actually been banned. Okay. The government had took the initiative to actually stop importation of incandescent lamp. Okay. But special lamp on incandescent base are still allowed to import. Yeah. What special lamp of incandescent base is basically like your infrared lamp. Those are not banned. Those are used a lot. Everyone is using it. Car industry are using it a lot for heating, infrared lamps, UV lamp. All those are still import in. Okay. Now we come about how do you design. Okay. I don't think anyone here have done a lighting design, but when you design something, it's actually very common. It's all about common sense. Okay. Now we come up with guidelines. Malaysian standard, we come with guidelines, or we have GBI, LEEDs, and all these guidelines are just purely as guideline. Okay. Because when you design something, it very much depending on the user. You cannot say everyone will have to be on this kind of lighting level, this kind of ambience, this kind of design. So the occupant, who is the occupant, are very important. Okay. The task, okay, the kind of task that you're going to perform is also very important. Example, you do need a lot of light in the toilet. But unless the user are telling you, I have a writing table in the toilet, I'm going to do writing in the toilet. Okay, then it's a different story. Yeah. But as a guideline, we're not going to tell put in the Malaysian standard telling you have to design very high lighting level in the toilet because you know that how many of people are going to do lighting in the toilet. Okay. So we have a guideline like toilet, how bright is the toilet going to be? So we measure it by lux, remember? One is a lumen, it's how bright is the light source. Now I'm going to ask you how bright is the toilet, how bright is the room. We measure that by lux. So it's a guideline in Malaysia standard. There's this thing MS1525. Okay, it's a practice of standards. And this standard itself, we actually put in 100 lux for a toilet. Okay. In fact, it can be lower than that. Yeah. You go to a hotel, you don't see 100 lux. Boutique hotel. You will find it very funny. The higher end the hotel is, the dimmer the lighting is going to be. Do you actually notice that? The very high-end, high five-star hotel, you find that the lighting is actually very dim. Even if you go to the hotel, the room itself is also very dim. You on all the light, everything is this dim. They're just basically saving energy. Yeah. Or you can say a bit cheap. but the key thing is they are creating ambience and they are creating tasks. They have specific light on specific area for specific tasks. That's the key thing. Yeah. Age is very important. Your requirement and my requirement is very different. A 12-year-old chaps will probably need lesser light than me. If I'm going to compare to my parents, 60, 70-year-old, they're going to need a lot more light than me. And the older generation tends to think that white light is brighter than yellow light. You can ask your parents, the older generation, they have this concept that white is always brighter than warm color. But it's not true. It's actually very simple. You look at the screen itself. This whole screen is coming from one light source, correct? So then the question is that, do you think the white is brighter than the dark? The white area here, is it brighter than the dark spot? Yeah, he says not. There is things about you must consider. There is only one light source. Shouldn't it be everything the same? If I were to take a meter to measure the lux level, it's actually all the same in average. But conception, from what you see, you always think that black is always darker than a white. White is always brighter. That is contrast. That's why you put contrast into it. Yeah, that's what I mean by contrast. Right? Now, selecting the type of fixtures, you have to consider about fixture efficiency. Now, this is very different. Very specific, we call it fixtures instead of the light. Okay. Now, you can have very, very good light source. The bulb can be very good LED, could be very good fluorescent, any light bulb. You are essentially, you're putting this light source into a fixtures, into a fittings. Many name a fitting, fixture, luminaires, all these are just jargon, but you're putting in some form of reflection material. Question is, how efficient is this material? Okay. You can have the same identical light source into different fittings with different efficiency. Your output is going to be different. Example, if I have a fluorescent lamp, fluorescent tube, I put into a fixtures that have no reflectors, painted in black, no reflectors. Same light, I put in a fitting with mirror reflectors, very high reflectance. You will definitely get more light from the mirror reflectors compared to the one without reflector and black fittings. See, you have to consider on that. So when you buy something or you see something on marketing brochures, a lot of them tends to play with this. They are very good at marketing, put it this way. They tends to tell you how bright is the light source. Okay, when you ask them how efficient is a fitting, now that is a different questions. A lot of them will not be able to answer you. So the key thing is that you talked about a system. Because essentially, you're not buying just a light source. You are buying as a complete system. Yeah. So efficiency of a system, that's a fitting, are very important. As a design, we look more into as a complete fitting. Yeah. Then you have about the lamp lumen output. Yeah, very straightforward. The brighter the lumen, the higher the lumen, the brighter the lamp is going to be. Yeah. Reflectance of surroundings, effect of light loss from lamp lumen distribution and dirt, room size, blah, blah, blah. All these are common sense basically. It's just a common sense that you're practicing every day, and we from engineering point of view, we're putting it terms. You just imagine when you design a room, you think about what kind of color in the wall. If everything going to be white, you have more reflectance. You can use lesser light source, lower lumen package light source. If your wall area are black, it means that you need to use more fitting to achieve the same lighting level. Okay. It's just common sense that you've been practicing for many years. Yeah. You're just starting off it when you put some light source into your room or wherever you want to put. These are things that you actually consider, but you do not realize it, and you do not formalize it. What we are doing it, we're formalizing it, we're quantifying it. Okay. Now, remember earlier we were telling you color rendering index. Why straight lights, low pressure sodium lamp are very high efficiency but not using it. High pressure sodium lamp is also high efficiency by using it to changing to LED and things like that. Now, what is color rendering is basically when you have an artificial light source illuminating an object. The question is how vibrant of this color, how true the color going to be reflected back to you. Now you think of it, on a straight light, everything is yellow. You have a white color car driving down the road on these lightings. When you look at the car, it does not look white, it just looks yellow. Okay? Or you have a red color car driving down to it. It's very difficult to differentiate a red color and a pink color. Now, all this because it's very low in color rendering, you're not able to pick up the color vibrance. How true is the color? Okay. Color rendering are measured by index. 100% is the highest index. Now, there's only one type of lamp will be able to achieve 100% color rendering. Now, this 100% is achievable. And there's only one type of lamp. This is all filament-based lamp. All filament-based lamp will achieve 100% color rendering. That is your incandescent bulbs, halogen bulbs. Okay. You think of it, you watch a lot of TVs, right? Movies, right? Have you seen movies if see those actors and actresses sitting down, those the dressing rooms, there are already mirrors and things like that. There tends to be these light bulbs going around the mirror, bulbs. Now, one of the main reasons they use that is because of the color rendering. That is the only reason. Those kind of bulbs are very hot. No one likes to be sitting in front of the mirror doing makeup on a hot temperature environment. Now, but why they are still doing it is because of the color rendering. Yeah. Now, you have experienced it. You go to a shopping mall, you go to KLCC, go to a cosmetic counter area, you look at you try something, your shirts, whatever, colorful shirts, you tend to find that colors at the shopping malls are more vibrant. With the same shirt that you bought, you go back home, it's become very dull. It's because of the different light source. Yeah, that's called color rendering. Okay. Now, this is just a chart. You have seen different type of lamps. Okay. It's just a chart to show you different type of efficiency. Okay. Incandescent, you can see it's right at the bottom. Okay. Then you see right at the top, it's a low pressure sodium. Yeah. It is at the top, but unfortunately, it's the least used as well. Yeah. Now, next thing is that you know about how to select different type of light source. Now, how do you put it to use? Okay. Using a light source in application, selecting a product are two different forte, put it this way. Yeah. Now, design nowadays, we design a lot based on daylight. We call it daylighting design. Is how much daylight do you have in your rooms? Like for this room itself, there's no window. So there's nothing for you to consider about daylight availability. Okay. But in the office itself, you have window. You have daylight coming in. So those are free light. It's given free. You don't have to pay a single cent for it. Question, how do you use it? Yeah. Then here, the lighting requirements. Like, what's the lux level? Remember, different area have different requirement of lux level. Okay. Glare. Now, this is very important. During those years when there is no computing are very minimum. No one really considered about the glare. But now, because of computing, all the computer screen especially, glare become very important. Have you experienced using your PC or workstations that you tend to see shadows or reflectance on the screen? And those are actually very irritating. Okay. So because of that, we have to consider when design something, we have to cut the glare. But of course, you're going to design lighting on a car park, no one is going to give a shit about glare. But you're going to, in the office environment, glare become a factor. Yeah. Next thing is lighting selection, the type of lightings. You have different type of lighting, LEDs and everything. What type to use? How do you control it? How do you control the lightings? Humans are lazy, put it this way. It is a basic fact. But the thing is that, how do you because humans are lazy, then how do you control their environment? How do you control the things that you have? Okay. Right. Now here is a chart extracted from MS1525. You can do this search on the internet. It should be on the internet, it's on the white paper. Okay. It is basically a guideline of telling you how much lux level at which area. This is just a guideline. Okay. Now, daylight availability. Okay. Actually, you don't have to bother so much about all this picture, the azimuth and everything. Basically, the idea is, sunrise from the east, set on the west. Oh, that's fast, east to the west. Now, questions, your building have orientations. Where is your window orientated? Okay. The sun will move. When it moves, it casts shadow. Okay. Also, light intensity going into the room is going to vary as well. So these are factors that we have to consider. Okay. Basic 3 components. You think about, you have direct light source, your external. SC is a sky component. Now this is actually all engineering terms. But the basic idea is that you just think of it, you have a room with a window, you have external light coming in. Okay, you call it sunlight, sunlight coming in. Technical term, we call it, well, just to make it fancy, sky component. It's a sun, basically a sky. Then you have externally reflected components. Now what this means is that, you just imagine on a building, you have one building next to each other, 2 buildings next to each other. Opposite the building, you have mirrors. Windows are reflective. Most buildings nowadays coat the tinted window with reflective. Those windows will also reflect light. So those are what we call external reflection. From direct sunlight to that building, it reflects back into your room. That's also another light source for you. Okay. Now the third one is internal. You have reflection from the wall. From your table, from the floor, from anything that's in the room that's reflective. Those are also another light source. So for daylight factor, what we basically mean is that it's a summation of all these 3 factors. Okay? Basic thing is how you want to use the sunlight reflection. Yeah. You just think of it, question how do you use the light is, you just think of it, you have a dark room itself. Imagine you have a very dark room and you're sitting in the room. You definitely need to look for light. And the thing is that there's no light source in the room, but you find there's light externally. Question is what you're going to do. How do you tap the light from external? That's what we call daylight factor. It's basically to actually make you think, how are you going to get this light into the room? Okay. But in engineering terms, we put it as a daylight factor with 3 components. If not, we're out of the job. Right. Next thing is very basic things. When you have lights, you classify by area, by task area. Right? First itself, the task zone is basically referring to the area where you're going to work, where you're going to write, where you're going to type, where you're going to read your drawings. Those are task area. Right? Then you have the surrounding. Okay? Immediate surrounding, area that's surrounding your task. It might not be a desk. It could be something else. If you're working on the floor or board, so are the surrounding area. Then you have general surrounding. It's the whole area in the room. Right? Now all these things will give reflections, and you have to consider glare from all this to all this area. Yeah. Now glare itself, very basic. You have two types of glare. One is direct, and one is indirect. Version for it, direct is direct from light source. Indirect is like light source, artificial light source, or the daylight will reflect bounce from somewhere. Okay, all these reflections coming from the area, all these are giving you glare. Now, one of the very basic place you can see indirect glare is that you drive on a sunny day. You drive on the street. Now, if the car in front they have tinting, chances is that they will reflect a lot of glare from the sun. And then you start to see a very hot spot right in the car itself. That is indirect glare. You know that there's no light at the windscreen at the back of the car, but there is still a very hot spot of glare. That is glare is an indirect glare from the sun. So that's what is meant by indirect glare. Right? Now, selection of lightings, again, that is a repetitive. How much is the lux level requirements? Now, the thing is that design have changed a lot. We have put into ambience lightings. How should you see, like those days when you design something very basic, is that we just have light source, just light up the whole room. As long as it's bright, that's it. Now, but things that you start to see, lighting have changed a lot in the sense that we design based on ambience. It's basically feeling, it tries to make you feel better, comfort. Yeah. Now you see lighting in the sense that in new offices design, okay, those days you just have fluorescent lights. Just put in 4 meters by 4 meters. You just put the light by grid, and you have light source light the whole room. That's it. That's the end of the story. But now the design has changed in such a way, you will see that light source around general area, surrounding area are at minimum level. Okay, we do that, it creates a certain comfort ambience. Secondly, I'm using lesser energy. Now, then you will start to see on the working desk, there are some people using pendant lamp to be just hang down onto the desk, on top of the desk, or people are using table lamp. See? So it changed, the whole environment has changed. Secondly, you go to shopping malls. The older days, the shopping malls, 10 years ago, okay, you go to put aside one Otama. Have everyone been to one Otama? Okay, one of that been around for more than 10 years. 10 years ago, when you do a lighting for shopping mall, it's just recessed down lights, metal halide bulbs, that's it. The whole mall is all white color and that's it. But now you see the new wing of the shopping mall, you tend to see the lighting level that drops, and you see spot effect. Now the thing is that, very normal is that when you go into a dark room, you see a place with high intensity of light, it will actually capture attention. First thing you look at the hotspot, the bright area. From dark to the bright area. See? So the lighting has changed in such a way that it becomes a guide. It becomes ambient, it becomes a guide. Yeah. So there is design changes. Yeah. CRI is also very important. Color rendering. It makes things look better, give you much better comfort. Yeah. Now this is actually, this is more for the engineers actually, this part. This is basically when you design for lightings, we do zoning. Now what do you mean by zoning is that different area will have different lights coming in from a window. Okay, example here you have window in this area. So the light, natural light, there's a lot more natural light here than compared in the center. Okay, remember that we do zoning that this is a zone, this is also another zone, this is another zone. Now why we do zoning? Because we're going to put control. Okay, if you ask the guy on this area to off the light when at 12 o'clock noon, when you have a lot of lights, no one is going to do it. The guy sitting down in the area, there's no way he will go to the switch and turn off the switch or turn it on when it's required. It's impossible. You ask me to do it, I know I won't do it. Basically, all of us won't have care. So because of that, we have to put in controls. we put controls into it. But to put control, we have to zone it. So first we do lighting zoning, we zone by area, then you put controls. Now, control itself, you can have motion sensor, you have manual basically on off switch. Okay? You have all this BIS system. This is going back to the building management system. Okay? Now what we do is that we can have a sensor connected to a light and a switch, version forward. Now the sensor, there's two types. One is occupancy, another one is daylight sensor. Now, occupancy is basically, those days we call it motion sensor, but there is a problem with motion sensor. If you sit in the room and do not move, you hardly have movement, the light will turn off. That was the number one problem with motion sensor. You cannot be sitting there having a lot of huge movement, so the sensor will pick you up. That's not possible. So then there's an improvement in the sensor, we call it occupancy sensor or presence sensor. Okay. It's an improved sensor compared to motions. If a slight movement, it will be able to pick up. Now with this sensor, where you use it a lot, you use a lot on corridor that's hardly used. Okay, not low traffic corridor. Because you do basically we design a circuit to be a looping circuit. Skip. Okay. So when there's no one walking in that area, you will turn off the circuit. One of the circuit will be off and leave only minimum circuit for lighting. Okay. Now, and we use a lot also in toilets. A lot of us go in the toilet, you will never turn off the switch. Even though your management put it, please turn off after use, no one will do it. Okay. So there is this a lot in the toilet, also in a lot of manager rooms. Okay, a lot of us in the room, we just leave the light on and we never turn it off when we don't use it. You go out for lunch, you do not turn off the light, just leave it on. In this area, we put in the motion sensor, the occupancy sensor. Now, daylight sensor is where we put in area close to the window. When there is sufficient light coming in from daylight, we will automatically dim down the light. So there is an auto, the light itself will go up and down. There's a dimming. But the key thing is, for the user, your work plane area, your table, your task area, okay, the light level are maintained throughout the whole cycle. So meaning there is sufficient light coming from natural daylight, my artificial light, I will dim it down automatically. So for the user, on your task area, my lighting level are still the same. Okay. When there is no more daylight, my artificial light will increase. So because of that, you do not feel a difference on the task area. That is what we call a daylight sensor or lux sensor. Right. Now, few different approach. This is actually a new type of design. One of the best place to see this is in Changi Airport. We call this solar tube. Okay, solar tube or sunlight harvesting. It's basically a tube, aluminum tube with high reflectance to channels, okay, to channel the daylight, sunlight into the buildings. This was very nicely done in Changi Airport, the new terminal. Okay, if you have a chance to be in Changi Airport, you look up to the roof, you will start to see there's a lot of fin. Okay, like a butterfly fin. That fin is basically it moves. It moves based on the sun movement. Because the sun will move, and you have something stationary, it is not tapping at the maximum efficiency. So what Changi have done is actually the thing have a butterfly to kind of follow the sun movement. And then you're tapping the maximum light into the buildings. Okay. Malaysia, I have not really seen this in Malaysia, but you see this a lot in China as well. China and US, there's a lot. There's a lot in China and US. Okay. Now, one thing is that we've been saying a lot about daylight coming in, natural light source. Now, when you have daylight coming in too much, there's also a problem. When you get something free, it doesn't mean it's the best thing you're going to get. There's also a lot of problems. Have you think about the sun, there's infrared coming in as well. It's hot. It's very hot. You think of it, I save on lighting, but now I'm loading up on my aircon because you're putting more heat into the room. Then my aircon compressor could work more. Then at the end of the day, you're actually wasting more energy. Correct? Now, so that is one problem come with daylight. Then how do you control it? Okay, there is a solution to control it. So you tend to see with sunshade. You notice new building itself, there's this kind of sunshade coming up, protruding from the window. Those sunshade are actually meant to actually filter out some of this daylight. Yeah. There's also another thing is that the type of glass that you use on the window, this kind of glass is also very important. You need a type of glass which can filter up all these things. It's a design. So don't think just support everything free, it means the best, man. So you gain something, you lose something. That's a key thing. Whichever product that you choose, you have some benefit, you also have disadvantage. So this relevant question is that, which more benefit now? Okay. That's what I have. One more thing is this. All this is basically lighting design tool. This is more for the engineers. Okay. Now those days we have, I think, during my uni days, I'll put it as like, 20 years ago, when we do a calculation for lighting, it's a long piece of paper at tables. Every time I see that piece of paper do calculation, I'll go crazy. Because there's a lot of things to input. But nowadays, life is so much easier. You have computing power. You use a software, that's it. You can download all this software like Dalux, Velux, there's also Relux. It's free. It's free from a software company. You can just go online, just do a Google search. You'll find it. It's free. So with this kind of software, we're actually able to simulate. Basically, this is actually giving us a data to see how intense is the light. Where's the daylight coming in, how intense is the area itself. And that's where the engineer come in. We analyze all this data. Question is, how do you put this data to use? How from this data, we will, based on this data, to design the rooms. Yeah. Okay. That's all that I have. But one message I just bring back is that for efficient lightings, right, it's not only about products. Yeah. User is also very, very critical. You can have the best lighting solutions. Okay, you get the best designer design the best lighting, the most expensive lighting. You tell people my lighting is $200,000 and things like that. But if you do not use it properly, it's also all pointless. If you start to turn off the light manually, there's a lot of control that's not necessary anymore. Yeah. Okay. That's all that I have.